Okay, I think I got it. Hey everybody, sorry about this. It's been nothing but thrills today. I think I got it right. We use a remote stream, remote access service, and nothing was working this morning. Hey, hooray! Somebody hears me. Yeah, it's been weird. Nikki's sick. I was hoping we could do a game night stream today. But she's had 3 colds since Gen Con, and it's just not like it used to be like her. Maybe not that bad, but lately it's real rough, and so she might have bronchitis. The good thing is we have arborists working on the house, trees around us, and so she's kind of managing that on top of that. Let me see here. Do I need that tab? I don't know that I do. I've been having a crazy week. We've been trying to get organized for Thanksgiving. It's very late for us this year, you know, which I'm not really certain how all that works out. But I wonder how loud the music is versus me. Somebody says quiet music, so I hope it's quiet. Music and my audio, fantastic. Well, I have some things to work on. I actually dug up some Warhammer Underworlds, I guess. I mean, it has to be. They are very, here, I'll cut to the camera. Let's see if I can do it. Boy, I could not work without having this, so I don't know what I have got going on here. Yeah, wow, that is pretty zoomed in. Let me zoom out a wee bit. But yeah, I found these. I'm not really sure why. I would think they're mine. I mean, in Warhammer Underworlds time, I started 2018. I mean, that's 6 years ago. But these are not my, I don't think these are my minis, or maybe they are, but I cannot believe they're poorly cut. You know, the trimming on them is not great. I would spend more time on that. And they're just push fit. So maybe I thought I would put it together. I don't know, but I got to clean these up. I probably won't do them, but here's the real fun part. This one fell as I was digging it up, and it popped off the little studs. Not that that's a big deal. But did it break that too? But I'm really shocked. I mean, I can't imagine why these would be like this unless they were for somebody else. No, it's okay. It's not hard to clean the plastic, or I don't have any putty. I don't think any right now. Hey, Gamenificent. Hey, Rosemary Ang. Thank you for mentioning that we're okay. This is some folks over on YouTube. Oh, I see David was over there as well. Hey, David, thanks a lot. Checking on both YouTube and I see what you're saying, both channels. Yeah, I think the mic had switched to mute, which I went into the control room and was laughing, and I didn't turn it on. So I must have just either barely, because I started it up and I'm like, oh, wait a second, I can't do this. So I was laughing and I'm thinking, oh, people are going to hear this, but I was just quiet from that point on, but I must have bumped the mute. On these packs, it's a little slider, and I feel like, I mean, we've had them a long time, at least probably 12 years. 13 years. There's no reason to buy anything else right now, but the Switch seems a little bit easier to slide. We had one stream a long time ago where Scott was talking to me in my ears while we were streaming. This is 4 years ago, and I went outside so that I could talk to him, but I didn't mute the conversation. But you know, that was also the beginning of us actually doing this kind of stuff. I think on the other streams we've done, we had used microphones, you know, like overhead. We're actually trying to put together a stream for, we have the fundraiser, well, not fundraiser, our support drive for BGG starts this weekend. I'm hoping that we can put something together. Nobody has responded so far. It is the wrong time of the year to, you know, everybody's busy, and so are we, really. But I'm hoping to hear. We have not heard back from Dave. I know is busy with his mom. He's helping her out. She had some health concerns recently, and so he was supposed to film with us and then had to head up north. So that's fine. So the other thing that's happening is, I was saying the other day, I mean, I jinxed myself, do not have painted minis around where you have alcohol. Well, thankfully, nothing happened to these, but I spilled alcohol, and pretty good on a couple of them. So I just let them, I think it was this one, maybe. And I just let them dry. I kind of fanned them, and that worked. But man, do not have minis that are completed anywhere near. And I was trying, what was I doing with the alcohol? Something. And oh boy, it was scary. So I finished, these are not really done, but I did the 2 of these. They're pretty close. You know, as I said, I've been trying to do 2. I'm not 100% satisfied. I'm actually getting tired of the red. Now this is not the same, I mean, this is the same red, but I actually put some orange on the thighs and, you know, her breasts and her mask a little bit. Hey! Thanks, David. Thanks so much for the support, David. I also dry brushed the metal, and it is not good. So I don't know if it was a bad paint. I was using an older, Vallejo? Let me see if it is. I think it is. Yeah. Model metallic. I don't know. I don't know how old this is. What's the date on it? No date. It's okay. I might end up using I have some of the contrast metallics. Not contrast, speed paint metallics. I wish contrast would make some. See what they offer. Anyway, but I want to do some work on the bases still a little bit, but they look good enough for now. You can't really see it, but her eyes have different shades of white. I don't even know Miss Spider-Woman, or Spider-Woman, that's what it is. But I want to work on these for a moment, because I want to see, like, this is a terrible cut. I just don't understand it. It does not seem like something I would do. I use side cutters. I've actually been thinking about buying some of the higher end side cutters. Gosh, I wish I knew what I was doing with the alcohol. But yeah, you really got to be careful. And the funny thing is, it's a bottle with a pop top, but it just splashed enough, just shot right out. And I'm like, oh great. And I knew I'm in trouble. I actually probably dropped my scraper. This is one of the Games Workshop. This is an older one. I think this is the first one they ever did. Scrapers, and they're not bad. People give them now, I think the new ones are quite expensive. This one was probably $20 back in the day. But it's not a blade, and I mean, I have plenty of X-Acto blades, but I can't hurt myself on it, which, I mean, I could, like if I really tried. But it does a really nice job of scraping without risk. I mean, you know, as an adult, you could probably handle it, but if you're younger, this is probably the tool to get. Now, if you're younger or clumsy like me, where I tend to poke myself when I'm doing this stuff, not that often, but enough. I had a cut on my finger the other day. It's barely there now, but I'm like, what the heck happened there? And the answer is, I'm clumsy. So let's see. We're going to try to glue this together. Maybe we won't glue his hands on. I mean, I was doing minis where I was not gluing on everything so that I could paint the bases a little bit more, because I generally go for like a not too much stuff going on in the base, sort of a generic gray. Sometimes I'll put some tufts and things like that. I love these. Wow, this is really dusty. This was sitting out, and I just got a whiff of it too, of the dust. I love these bases that, wow, that's got, you know what that is? That is silver from the dry brushing. I did not clean the brush. I wonder what was going on. I know I had my mom's, I think that might have been, no, this was later in the day after I streamed, or earlier in the day after when I streamed. I can't remember now. that was Thursday, and today is Tuesday, and my brain is off. But yeah, you definitely want to have a clean brush, especially if you've been dry brushing, particularly with metallics. One of the things about metallics is, you know, if you get it in your water. So I use a thing called a, let's see if I have one. I think I have it right here, and I've showed it. I use a Masterson rinse well. This was actually, hey. It's Paul and Deming. Hey, thanks everybody. I was watching them before I got started. They were playing, oh gosh, what was my brain is off. What were they playing? But it was Paula and Matthew. So anyway, this is a rinse well. And the cool thing is you can drain the water, right? You just press this button and the little drain pops out and then the water flows in. Gravity feed. It's fantastic. It's not small. Thanks so much for the follow. Pantaloni, how you doing? This is not small. There is a smaller one from, well, there's a generic one you can get on Amazon, which is probably the better one to get, because Green Stuff World, I think, just brands it as their own. It's narrower. It's like a, gosh, it's a little bit bigger than like an older iPhone box as the base, and it has a long river that goes, like a long channel that goes to the well for the water. So it's a smaller well, much larger reservoir in this one. This is not the correct size. It's like it's compressed or something. I can't really show it, but it's a lot of water, and this is the one thing I like. Plus the reservoir itself is pretty big. But the good thing is when you're using metallics, you can do all the work that you need to do with the metallics and then just immediately hit that button. And I have a brush that's a nylon brush to just brush all the sediment, you know, the residue and the metallic out. And then you don't have it in your paints. I've absolutely had it turn up in my paints before, but these are great. This one I actually bought for Nikki, and as you can see, she's never used it. But you can see here, this is how this works. The bottle top screws on, you fill it up, you invert it. Now this is not rotated in the right direction. It needs to be parallel with the flow into the, because it doesn't actually flow very well if you don't do that. They're great, they're not too expensive. Actually, Bebo was the one, Brittany Bow, who showed me that, goodness, 6 years ago? I mean, it might have been, she didn't actually, I've never painted with Brittany. I've chatted with Brittany. And I actually saw her at BGCon, which was really great. I hadn't seen her in ages, and I did not get a chance to speak to her. We were trying to leave, I think, but she waved to me and I waved to her, and I was just happy to see her. It's been a very long time. I had a very good conversation with her at maybe 2016? Gosh dang, 8 years ago at one of the tabletop days, International Tabletop Days with Geek and Sundry. And I was there because our friend Stephanie Straw was doing a long, full day of, gosh, what was it? Twilight Imperium. And so I dropped her off very early, and then I think I had to wait because I played in the second wave. So the folks playing the Twilight Imperium were going all day, and they would cut to them, which I was kind of bummed because I feel like that game is one of those things where it's best to see what's going on and seeing things develop. But anyway, so I was like in the second wave, and we played Rhino Hero, the giant Rhino Hero, which I had a great time. Leg injury, it is better, Gamenificent. I'm sorry I didn't see that. Have a great build and paint job. Thanks so much. Don Shock, I've been looking through the archives and haven't been able to spot it. Do you in the game ever to play? So we have never played Brass. I mean, we played Brass. Nikki in particular loves the game, the original one. Haven't played the new one. Maybe we'll do the one of the newer ones. We don't own it. We have gotten some, as you might have noticed, we've done some Roxley games. They have sent us some. We've purchased some. I don't know. We keep talking about. We have done longer episodes. We did several this season, and I think we have a long one coming up, maybe for New Year's. And they're fun, but they're hard. And we don't have Aaron, who loves those types of games. Well, at least he used to. I don't know for sure that he still does. But the last one we did with him that was really big was Arkham Horror Edge of the Earth at the beginning of this season, which was great. And then we also did Arc Nova with him. And Arc Nova is not that crazy, but the problem with Arc Nova for us was you can make mistakes. Brass I don't feel is that long, but it is a deeper one that Dave is not really interested in. Rusty is not, he's done a couple longer games with us, and he's like, yeah. I mean, he did Arkham Horror, the 3rd edition, I believe. It was Rusty and Aaron and Nikki and I. But yeah, I don't know. We might get to that. Gamenificent, I am better. I'm walking around without crutches, but holy cow, it still hurts. I'm not certain I've never broken anything. So for what happened is I fractured my heel almost 3 months ago. So wow, getting up on 12 weeks. I might even be on 12 weeks now. I can't remember. It was the 6th of September. A day I'll always remember. But real rough, and I don't recommend it. Number one, don't jump. I thought, oh, no problem. Had I just thought for like 5 minutes, I would have saved myself a lot of grief. I don't need to go in the story again, pretty dumb. But I'm hanging in there, and Nikki has been great. It's not great when she's not feeling well. I have been wrapping my foot. So they have like an ace bandage, and they recommend that for the swelling. And I mean, I was wrapping it till just the other day, and it has not been swelling up. So I don't know if I need to wrap it anymore. I did buy new ace bandages, was frustrated. Nikki's like talking to me, and I'm like, I've done this by myself for 3 months. Because it's not easy to do. I've watched videos, I think I understand it. I do it, and then the next day I've forgotten, or it doesn't work, or whatever. And I absolutely bought new ace bandages because the one that they gave me was, tired. We hand washed it and everything, but it was just tired. And so I'm not really certain. It's been crazy. I definitely do your best not to hurt yourself. But it's been good. We just have been busy. We got to see Rusty at BGDCon, which was great. We hung out with him quite a bit. Wow, is this glued in? We definitely would like to see more of Rusty. And we will film something with him soon, I'm sure. We have maybe an episode left of things that we shot with him. Oh, absolutely. The long one he was involved in. Which was very nice of him because I know that's not necessarily his speed. It was Deborah's, it's like Deborah's favorite game, and she wanted to do it, and we were like, okay. And it is a game we have played before, but this is the expansion, so there's your hint. She loves it so much. Deborah actually put together a online version in Roll20 during the pandemic so she could play. So I think they went through everything, or a lot of the game. I think she didn't care for so there was 2 expansions for the game. I was going to say it. I don't think she cared for one of them. So she has them all. I don't know if she played all this stuff. So it's a scenario-based game, if you haven't guessed. So we'll get to that one soon, and Rusty was in that. But we want to get him in something, we have a couple of games. He played one with us that we really want to feature. Actually, 2 with us that we want to feature on the show. One of them we played on the stream called Avant Card. I think we might have played it wrong on the stream, or maybe right, I don't know. Because when we played it on the stream, we had just played it in Germany. It's a great game. They'll be at PAX, that's from Resonim. They're an interesting company. The other game that they had, I believe it was on the SDJ recommended list this year, was Phantom Inc., which is an awesome deduction, it's a deduction game. It's competitive. It's 2 teams, and you've got ghosts speaking to you. We have wanted to do it on the show, and we actually almost did it for the, we had our 500th episode a while back, over the summer, I believe, and that was the game I was thinking. That one and one other one I couldn't get, I was thinking of doing. And then we ended up just deciding to do Green Team Wins, which is great because it didn't take forever, but it was really fun. And it got to where we could actually, we were doing a discussion, so we had talked about getting into board games, how we all met, and it was great. A great episode to go check out and see. A lot of questions people ask are answered in that video. Really fun. And wow, boy, that really is kind of a bunch of pieces. So yeah, this is push fit. Now, I feel like push fit shouldn't come apart like that. Again, I don't know how this got put together. Boy, I feel like that is glued in there. I do not want to break that out. I would definitely cut these more. So I am not certain how I got these minis. Maybe GW has given us some games, some of this stuff from the Warhammer Underworlds, but not this. Although maybe, I don't know. There's no way. I did not do these. I'm way more particular about it. I don't like having to trim so much, you know? I mean, it's like, you still have to go through. I mean, it's funny, I talk about all the time on the Marvel United stuff, how my brain can't, because I'm not assembling them, my brain can't get that I need to, hey, see, notice I am using a knife. Sometimes I feel one is better than the other. I can't get my brain through that, hey, you need to clean these minis because they are not good. As a matter of fact, let's look at Spider-Woman again. Her knees and her thighs have mold lines, and I thought I cleaned them both. Look at that. Neither of them are very good. They don't look so bad, but that is, for me, it is super annoying, and I don't like it. I try to keep that stuff clean. Oh, thanks, Game Magnificent. I am doing good. I'm hoping to be fully functional in the next few months. I need to go see my doctor, see if I need to do some physical therapy. Anyway, I definitely like to, I don't want to spend the time, I mean, you have to clean them, like I said. You can see here the knee, there's a mold line there, and they try to conceal it, which is great along this like point here, but it really isn't. If you notice on this leg, it is rounded. This side has a point. So you probably, if you want to, you should smooth it out. There's a couple ways. I have some sanding sticks, but I don't think I have the tiny ones. I have none of the tiny ones. I need to get some. But I will say, in this case, probably not so good, because I don't want to rub off, you know, these little studs, which are visible on the leg armor of both of these. I mean, of both legs. So I'm just going to smooth it out a little bit, and then when I prime it, hopefully it won't be too visible. But these are minor league. This is nothing compared to some of the problems. Now, again, this guy has a cape. He's got a tabard coming down. It will probably conceal some of that. Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one. So yeah, the way you assemble these, they have like a point that you, wow, I probably don't even know if I have the assembly stuff for this. This is not right. Oh, there we go. So you can see here, it's very tight on his head. Then you put this tabard and front torso on. It's great. They do a real nice job, and they can be pretty smooth, but you do need to, like, you don't see the seams. Now, the frustrating thing for me is on these, on this one here in particular, is it's right on this edge. So it's supposed to be at the bottom of this armor, and it'll conceal it. Now, it'll be pretty good, but it's never great. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes they're fantastic. This one is okay. Does he have this hand in his hand? He does, and this has part of his shoulder blade? This can't be it. This is not the guy. It belongs to him. Where did that piece go? Is it this? No, that's this guy's. Wow, who knows? I feel like I dropped a piece. Let me look here. I've had nothing but weirdness today. But yeah, this fell and broke this morning, which is not a common thing for me. So this belongs to this guy here. It's got points that connects. So this goes underneath, and then this goes on into this hole here. Let's keep him separate. That's all he needs. This here, oh, you know what? He's probably got his helmet in his hand. So that is exactly what it is. So let's put this back together lightly, and I don't have to pull it apart, right? Because I do want to keep pulling it apart. But then this piece goes here. And you see him holding his helmet, which is pretty cool. I mean, they have some pretty intricate designs. It is a little sad because in the old minis that I used to buy 20-something years ago, they would have more posing. Now, posing is awesome, but it can be hard. I have assembled, gosh, what did I do recently? Well, I did these last year, and you know, they can have poses. You can change their arm. You can rotate things. It's really difficult. Well, it is difficult for people that don't do it often, I'm sure, to put them together. Like to hold them in place. I use plastic cement for my stuff. Some people use super glue. I was watching Peachy Chips the other day, and he was saying he assembles with super glue because it's easier to break those joins if he wants to change something. Because when you use the plastic glue, it kind of welds it. It does weld it. And that's, that's rough. But I'm not too bothered by it. You know what I mean? Like if I was really concerned about boy, I kind of wish I did have, you can't see that. I wish I did have one of those sanding, little sanding sticks. But yeah, I generally don't. I do a pretty good job, and I pose for a while. But here's the thing, as I'm saying with like a plastic cement, if I get it wrong, it's a little loose for a little while. Some plastic cements cure faster than others, but once it's gone, it's pretty tough. You can't easily take it off, and so you definitely have to think about it before you move on to gluing. Now, hey, thanks for the follow, ugly bad good. I have the glue from Tamiya that I really like. I have two different formulations. Hey, Mythendril, just got into mini painting. Nice. I was wondering if you, chat, has any recommendations to retailers for purchase minis, 3D printer or otherwise. Thank you in advance. So, I don't know. It depends on what you like as far as minis to buy. Some of my, so yeah, you notice here there's two different, this is a quick setting and this is a little bit slower. I feel like you shouldn't spend a lot of money initially. Actually, Miniac did a video. So Miniac is a YouTube channel. He recently did a video comparing mini systems. And he explains, like basically top of the heap is the GW stuff, but Kingdom Death Monster is just below that. There was another manufacturer that had just a ton of minis types. It depends on what you want to play. There's plenty of miniature agnostic games where you can just play with what you have. If you look at One Page Rules or any, another YouTuber, a friend of mine, Adam Smasher, he has a channel called Tabletop Minions, and he has 4 or 5 games now with another YouTuber. These are all painting guys. Another YouTuber called Vincent Venturella. I have not bought their most recent one. I bought last year's. I need to buy this year's. But they're cool because you can do whatever you want with them. You do need, for the fun, you want to kind of keep them to the theme, but you don't have to any brand. And that's the same with like One Page Rules. One Page Rules is a very succinct rule set. You bring what you want. Another fun one that I really love as far as minis go is Gaslands, where you just use Hot Wheels or Matchbox or anything like that, and you make them look like Road Warrior stuff. It's phenomenal. None of these are primed. So yeah, he was saying, who is the minis maker for, I guess it's WizKids for the D&D stuff. And I have some. I don't think I have them right here. They're okay. They're small. They're D&D minis. D&D minis are small. It depends on what you want to do. If you want D&D, I would look at, gosh, what is the miniature size there? I've got the 28 millimeter in my brain. But yeah, if you look at Miniac's video, literally 2 weeks ago, I think, it was pretty good. And he had like one source that had a ton of minis. And that's probably where you should, I mean, Reaper Bones Black, I think is the newest. Those I don't think are primed. You can, so you mentioned prime, and that's the reason why the D&D minis popped into my head. The ones from Wizards of the Coast are pre-primed with Vallejo paint, and that's okay. You have to trust that they've been scraped to your satisfaction, where some people don't care. I'm particular about it, so I would probably not want to do it. I prime my stuff myself with an airbrush and sometimes a rattle can. I feel, you know, I watched a great video, gosh, State of Play. I've been watching, actually this weekend I watched quite a bit of stuff because I hadn't seen things for a long time because we were away. State of Play is a British guy, and I don't love his videos, but he's very good, don't get me wrong. But I just, some of it for me is a little too, like, he definitely knows his stuff. He's got color theory down and all that stuff, but I just was like, huh. But he did a great one about priming and color and stages. Now, I think this one was from like 3 months ago. But he's good. He's got some great stuff about airbrushing. But I feel, even though I don't think he's promoted by any, you know, I mean, like I don't think he's sponsored. Maybe he's sponsored now. But he was going through like what paint I'm keeping and what I'm getting rid of, which I guess if you're short for space, then you probably need to be very cautious. Now, I'm running out of space for paint, and I did give away some paints to some friends, and I hope they use them. I don't know. It was actually my friend's daughter. But I knew I wasn't going to use them anymore, and they're fine paints, but generally I will keep them because I don't want to I don't want to buy more paints when I don't need them. Now, having said that, I just bought a 50 paint set, which was expensive, $200, from Army Painter. I just want to try them. I actually really like, you know, price-wise, I really like, let's see how much paint comes in it. So these are the two, let's just say these are two blacks. Well, they look like they might be about the same amount of volume. Let's see, I think this is 18 milliliters, it is. 0.6 fluid ounces, and this one is 22 milliliters. So it's a little bigger, you know, about 20%. And these paints are great. They're made in the States. They used to be made in Canada. I don't really know the story about that. They're made in Arizona, and they're great paints. I just don't have all of them. I have probably 30 paints of theirs. Let me see, 8, 16, 28, I guess? No. Yeah, 28 or 29 bottles of paints from them. Oh no, easily. I got 30 paints. That's not enough. I mean, it is enough if you mix, right? I mix paints all the time. I really like their paints. I use this bright natural gray all the time. This bold pyrrole red, I'm not showing them, I'm sorry. I use this bright natural gray all the time, and this pyrrole red. This pyrrole red is awesome. I did a comparison between this red and this red recently. They look good, but this one's on the miniature, this one here, definitely seems pinker. And Adam, my friend Adam, works with them. He's on their media team, and he was saying he felt that wasn't true. I did a comparison on one of these minis here. And this one here, not that you can, I'm going to have to tell you what's what, because they're not that different. This side here is the Army Painter War Paints Fanatic, and then this is the bold pyrrole red from Pro Acryl from Monument Hobbies. I like this color better. This is more what I think of when I see red. I'm not certain that that shows up on camera very well, but you know, this is the thing. You don't want to get rid of anything because you want to have multiple colors at your tips. I got Speed Paints 2.0 with primer to start and ordered 10 mini mystery minis, so I'm excited. Oh, nice. Oh, Goobertown Hobbies is great. He's fantastic at, like, I mean, he's a chemist, right? He knows what he's doing. And he did something I watched recently. I literally was like catching up on a bunch of videos. I watched one of his videos the other day that I hadn't seen. And I generally tend to watch everybody's videos, like all of, I mean, not everybody, but when I follow somebody, I try to watch all of their stuff. And I really like his stuff. I mean, that's what's great. There's a ton of great people out there that are out to try to help you make it easy, right? It's not that hard to get into the hobby. And it can be expensive, so you kind of, it's one good thing to like do your research. I tend to buy things a little bit more often than I should. I have been very good. There was a good sale on some airbrushes recently that I was very close to buying another airbrush, which if anybody, as you know, if you watch the streams, I have too many airbrushes. I just am always intrigued at, like, I'm not looking for something to solve my problems because I'm a reasonable airbrush painter for what I need anyway. I used to paint actual art with airbrushes. That was one of the things I did when I was in college and high school. Sorry, out of focus. But I think airbrushes are great. I think you don't have to spend a lot of money. I'm always looking for, the one thing I think that is the biggest challenge, right, for most is the airbrushes. There's so many great options nowadays. So the one I'm talking about is Gallery. That's this one right here. G-A-A-H-L-E-R-I. I'm guessing that name. This is a pretty good brush. These guys are trying to be the real deal. They are selling parts, which is massive. Not every airbrush company of these, you know, this is Chinese made. But like this one is super polished. And I kind of wanted to check out, they have a newer one that's like, I think cheaper than this one, although maybe not anymore, because this was like 100 and something when it came out, and I think I got it for like $80. That's not bad. That's a very good price. I bought this one. It's ridiculous, but I decided I want to do one like this. This is the low end. I don't know if it's the lowest end, but I believe it is the lowest end airbrush from Harder and Steenbeck. This is another YouTube guy, Squidmar. This is his custom airbrush. He did one for each of the lines. Well, not one. He did several for each of the new lines that they introduced. This is the Ultra, the Infinity is the high-end one, and I don't remember the name of the medium one. They're all great. The parts on this one are common between, some of the parts are common between all of the airbrushes that they sell. So like if you bought this, the nozzle inside you can use on, I believe, all three airbrushes. That one, I didn't say, this was $100 and something when I bought it. It was in euro, so the euro fluctuates obviously, so I'm not certain, and I'm not sure with all the tariffs that may be coming, how much that will affect things. But Gallery is available on Amazon for inexpensive. So they had what is the new one called? The Mobius, or one of the new ones, the Mobius, and then they have a gun trigger one that I thought about for a minute. But those are a little more expensive, but those are more complex. It's an actual pistol grip kind of a thing. And I really like it. It looks like it'd be something good for me if I were doing more terrain. I'm not doing a lot of terrain, so but I don't think, I was going to say, the big challenge is compressors. So a while back, probably a year and a half ago now, I bought this, gosh, could be 2 years ago. I bought this with a basic airbrush that does perfectly fine for priming. This is battery powered. It's rechargeable. It does seem to be bowing there. I don't know if that's just, it's not touching. But this is a great little compressor for just doing priming. You can't adjust pressure. I do adjust the pressure with this a valve, a Mac valve. This one here is, I think, the Mac valve from Grex. It's nice. This other Mac valve I got that is from Badger. Badger has a different connection than most airbrushes. This one, there's the connection that will fit most airbrushes, including both of the ones I just showed you. But the way I deal with that is I use adapters. So they have these adapters that convert it from this type of connection to a quick mount, a quick disconnect. So you push this in and it goes together. So I'm not using the airbrush that came with this that much. I have used it, I have prime stuff, but I have more expensive brushes. But this was like $56, $60 now, maybe. They're pretty great. It does the job, but, and the one good thing it does about that, meaning it lets you know if you're interested in airbrushing. You know, you don't spend too much money on it. But it's way better than using cans. I have rattle cans, and the Games Workshop, I have not used the Color Forge, is a new brand that Monument is going to be distributing in the United States. Monument Hobbies, Pro Acryl. I will buy some to check it out, but I've heard it's very good. It's super competitive with the higher end miniature paints. And but I think priming yourself is, even just doing it by hand. So I've done I've been painting on stream now for a couple years, and I've done everything. I've dry brushed I painted it black and then dry brushed my zenithal highlight. Zenithal highlighting, if you don't know, so if they're primed, this is the one benefit I think of doing it yourself, because they're not going to do, they're not going to, and yeah, I'm sorry, I missed that you said, are those already printed? I think so, the ones that you were speaking about. Hey, Amanda. BGCon was amazing. I don't know what my favorite game was. There was a bunch, Bomb Squad, maybe, was pretty awesome. Too many conversations. I'm a goofball. So you can see here, I didn't do a good job cleaning that mold line, so I'm gonna probably scrape that now. And you really should check them out. Like, the helmet isn't great. Gosh, I did a terrible job. Anyway, but this is zenithal highlighted. The way this works is, if you can see, it's darker from beneath. I paint the whole thing black. You can do that by brush or airbrush or can. And then I wish I had Scott's minis. I'm going to paint Scott's minis, and he did all his with rattle can, so I can show you how his only hit the first wave of Marvel United. But you paint it entirely black, then you paint at a 45-degree angle to have the shade, but you have it the paint pointing this way. Then this is if you're doing it with an airbrush, because the rattle can, I just suggest black and white. Then you do the zenithal from the very top. You can see it looks very white from this angle and much darker from these angles. So that's because that's like where the sun is coming down, right? So for me what it does, it gives, for the most part, like this mini will probably, I don't know what colors Nova is. These are painted the same way, and it makes it darker where automatically. So you're using speed paints. The orange here is a speed paint, the blue is a contrast paint. Because they're not super opaque, that shading passes through, and it speeds things up. So I had the paint for the faces. I painted these faces the other day, and I mixed quite a bit of it. So I went in and jumped in and painted some other ones while I was at it. And I usually start with the faces, to be honest with you. I have not done that a few times recently, and I'm not really certain why. I get excited about certain elements, but those look good. And it's all the same paint. This is Shang-Chi, a little darker. This one's the right, I think I kind of ran out of paint on Shang-Chi. So I want to go back and finish this guy, because I'm trying to make multiples of the same thing. And then this is Elektra. Looks pretty good. It's hard to like catch all the flesh when you're doing those things, right? So I'm like, oh, her hands. Also, I feel like she's not quite right. Now, I thin the paint out, particularly with this. The paint that I'm using for this, I have not used any of the Army Painter ones yet. I don't have them all. This is Gilliman Flesh. Gilliman Flesh is amazing. It is one color, and I don't think I have any of the ones over here. Well, here's let me see here. Blades, oh, Blade's pretty good. America Chavez is pretty good. These are all the same flesh tone. Now, it's not a great variety. There's some darker ones. Shuri is amazing, turned out fantastic. And Shuri might be almost this color straight. The way you reduce the intensity without losing the quality of the paint, America Chavez looks amazing. And I don't know who this is. I looked her up yesterday, or no, the other day. That one looks pretty good too. It's a little splotchy on Blade, and I will tell you that's probably my fault. You do not want to touch the paints once you've got it on there, because what ends up happening is oh wait, here you go, here's Luke Cage. He's darker. This one might not be, he's a little, I mean, now in his case, his head is bald, right? So I was trying to do something where I was sort of stippling it so that it wouldn't look brushed. Part of the problem with speed paint, and you can see here's another example, the shirt is basically just a yellow, and then it's zenithal, right? So it has the shading. But those are all the same color, and you use this to reduce the intensity. This is technical contrast medium. It is essentially, what makes up these paints. You put the pigments inside of this. So when you do that, put this in, it reduces the intensity of the color. And believe me, I was disappointed with this paint when I first got it. I'm like, wow, that's just so dark. And I was thinning it with water. Then I went to the store, and I can't remember if I bought the technical medium right away or not. Well, this isn't the bottle. Here's the first bottle I bought that's still not great, and the sticker's off of it. I honestly feel I did not buy this at first, but I went to Games Workshop, or no, I think I went to Games Workshop, one of the stores. We used to have one in our neighborhood. Sadly, we don't anymore. Not neighborhood, but close. And they show this little swatch of the color, and it goes from light to dark. And I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh, medium. Now, I studied art. I should have known this. The medium's great. You need it. Speed paint has a medium too. If you don't have that, you should get it. I do have that. This is one of the speed paint medium. I don't know if they cross easily right between brands. I would use the brand's speed paint medium just for safety's sake, but it might be okay. But that lets you reduce the intensity so that you can build up to it. So I do that all the time, where I will, what you want to do with speed paints is put it on quickly, and this is where I was showing like some of the problems there with like Blade. You want to put it on quickly and then dab away any excess. Meaning you don't want to work it too much. The same thing with white paints. You don't want lighter colors to be worked too much, because then they get sticky. You know, they start to cake. I have a this is one. So this one is actually entirely dry brushed. I mean, I painted it black, hand painted it with my black paint primer that I use, which is this one here. It's an old bottle now, probably 6 years, and I barely used it. I imagine, let's see if I can see it through the light here. It's very thick pigment. This is meant to go through an airbrush, so it's already pretty thin. I barely used a third of this at most, I think. So I painted the entire mini black, and then I dry brushed the intensity. So some of that shows up, you know, the contrast paint shows up in the hair. It's a little different looking than the airbrush, but it looks cool. Now, if you want it to be smooth, airbrush is the way to go. Rattle can's pretty good, then dry brush. Now, Scott's rattle can, I don't remember if some of them are a little speckly, which I actually like. I have one that I tried that in. I painted like 3 or 4 of Black Widow, and but yeah, you can see here. Now you can't see, it's out of focus. It's a little caked, and I am disappointed. Like I have done. But that was because it was too light. So what happened is I painted it, and it was too speckly looking, because I didn't have enough white undercoat for the flesh. So I actually painted a flesh, which is a bad choice. Now, Flesh should be a good choice because it's not a straight white, but I used this flesh, which is terrible. You can't even see the label has come off. This is light flesh from Vallejo. It's older. I shouldn't have used it. Now I mostly use this white. This is Bold Titanium White. It's good too. If you overuse it though, if you overwork it, it gets to be where you start to get chalky and stuff. So you need to thin it. It's often good. I will tell you now, this is kind of the new undercoat that I will use for flesh. It has got enough of another color in it that it smooths it out. You still need to thin it well. You generally should build up, right? Duncan Rhodes says 2 thin coats, and he's 100% correct. At least 2 thin coats. And then you don't get that, it doesn't obscure details and things like that. So you have to be cautious. Bomb Squad, goodness God, I cannot remember what it was. I need to actually contact Amanda. Speaking, she will be potentially fantastic. Because we're trying to do a live stream. I think it's, I don't know how long they would like us to do it. This is BGG. Scott and some of the other folks are asking that we do something, which would be great. We just need to figure out a day, I think, is ultimately the problem. That's why nobody's responding. Because I was asking 4 dates, which I think is a mistake. I should give them some dates and see what most people would. They were talking about maybe doing it more than once in the month, which that is a challenge. We are hoping to film the Advent calendar again, and the first is next weekend. I don't think we're going to get there. I don't know what we're going to do. Mike has said he might be able to come on Saturday, which would, I would have to crank that through. I do not like doing them at the last minute. I'm really sad. I bought those minis. I bought that game last year when we were finishing up the one and hoped to actually shoot it during the year, but everybody just has been busy. Deborah went away to film Daredevil. I'm staring right at him. Right here. I painted his face too. She did Daredevil, and she's actually filming. She may still be filming. She was saying that she was hoping to be back by Thanksgiving, but then I heard from Dave, because Dave had talked to her, because they were trying to organize filming so that we could have some of these, because they wanted to do them. That was the thing. They were like, we want to do them. I'm like, okay. And has not happened yet. So very sad. So we'll see what happens on that. We will be doing them. Maybe just Nikki and I for the first few. And then maybe Deborah and somebody else, because I'm not sure if Dave's going to make it back down. But the con was awesome. BG Con is great. It's one of the earliest cons of that nature where it's just game playing. Although I think they've always had a little bit of a sale, vendor element. Because I did not go the first year, but I thought about it, and I knew Mark Johnson a little bit at that time, because the first one was in 2005. I had met him already, but well, he didn't know us well enough to ask us, which was totally fine. But I was like, let them figure it out. And then we went the second year, which was a little bigger, a little bit more people. And it was amazing. And it's only gotten better since. In around gosh dang it, I'm not staying focused. In around 2010, maybe 2011, they moved to the hotel at the airport in Dallas, Fort Worth Airport. And it grew quite a bit. Oh no, that's not true. It was at another place. So I think it did do the one in the airport. Before that though, it was at another airport another hotel near the airport in Irving. And it was pretty good. And I think it was like 700 people, 800 people. And then they went to the airport hotel, and then that was 2011, I think, maybe. And then, as a matter of fact, let me think about it. Yeah, we went in 2012, because 2011 we did our first large live streaming at what happened was, is the first time we went to Spiel, we didn't know what we were doing. Basically, I mean, I was just helping out. I didn't work for BGG at the time. But we were just there to kind of promote the brand, right? Not everybody in Europe knew us, and it had been going for 9 years. More than 9 years at that time, actually. So, because we were coming up on our 25th anniversary here in January. Gosh, that's crazy. And 2011 we did our first, so 2009 we were there, and we brought a webcam that, you know, we'd show people like what was how it was, the con was, you know, because people in North America, United States don't necessarily know how Spiel is. And I had the bright idea, whether it was bright or not, to live stream Freedom, and I said, hey, why don't you show us your new game, which I think was Copycat, if I recall right. It might have been another game before that. You know, and then, well, it'll be on the game page, and, you know, everybody will see how to play it. And the light went off, and we, like, completely booked up our time at the show. And so then 2010 we came back. Scott didn't want to really do it himself. It's hard work, and he was not into getting worn out. And so we did it without him, and it was me and his partner at the time, Dirk. Dirk founded Board Game Geek with him, and it was hard. The two of us, it was very hard. We had people coming and helping. Doug and Shelley from, what is their podcast? I know this. Well, they do MeepleCon, West Coast Meeple Fest, or yeah, Meeple Fest, West Coast Meeple Fest. I've been to that. Haven't been in like 10 years or more, but it's a great little con too. It's geek. Goodness gracious, my brain is not working today. Anyway, they're a great podcast. They've been doing it for ages. Let me just look it up, so I can get it right. We just got to see them for the first time in Garrett's Games and Geekiness. Goodness gracious, I should remember that. Anyway, they've been doing their podcast forever, and I think we've been involved at the podcast at the con too, at their con. But they came and helped too that year. And then the next year, 2011, we went big and actually had a booth, a full-on booth again, that was with us streaming. And Scott came for that, and had a bunch more help. And we were, you know, we had our 3-camera setup for the first time, which was great. We did not figure out audio until the next, it took a while. Like, it's so bad. The noise is so insane at these cons. But I don't know why, if I need to even worry about this. I think this is behind the shoulder and the weapon. Oh, we can hear him sawing stuff. So anyway, 2011 was our last year at, I believe, at that big hotel, before the airport hotel, and because I mean, my cousin Jess was there. She actually came to Germany with us and live streamed. She was awesome, and Beth. That was when Beth first joined us, and then we Beth Hiley, who's now our product manager. So it was a pretty great, great show. And then it just got bigger and bigger after that. And then it went crazy at Gen Con. We started going to Gen Con 2013 or 2014, I think, maybe even 2012. And our biggest booth ever was Gen Con 2019. That was when we had the rebranding, and we had all of our geek bits that we're doing now, the Geek Up bits. And so the big one, of course, was, and still is, I mean, Quacks of Quedlinburg is just, people play with those bits, and they're like, and I agree 100%. it's amazing because you really handle the tokens a lot in that game. So we have some great stuff for that in the BGG store. We have the bits, the Geek Up bits, and we have draw bags that are awesome, and storage boxes that have, you sort the 3 different, well, if they have however many different values they have. Really great. It's all really great, and Beth has done a great job, and Chad, who started that stuff off, because I remember we played, so that must have been 2018, I think. We went on our first cruise, BGG cruise, Nikki and I was 3D printing token holders for Quacks, and token holders you just would pop it in, and they're pretty cool. I kind of wish I made them a little thinner. We went to the con and we saw the new Geek Up bits that we were doing on that cruise, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to do this for Quacks, and they need to be translucent, because I was using translucent filament for my Geek Up bits. For my token holders. That was actually the design. The original design was done by a friend, Martin Klein, who was on the SDJ jury at the time, and it was great, a great design. But I actually tweaked them to not need glue. You don't necessarily need glue on them; they generally pop in. But wow, this is rough. Wow, I think I had a hard time pulling this off the last time, so do not put it on until you're ready. So I changed the design to slightly to hold on to the token pieces so that you wouldn't have to glue them in. And I only occasionally had a problem, and if I did, I would have you put a tiny bit of glue stick on the inside edge of the gosh, would this focus? On the inside edge of the token holder, and then you just let it dry, and then you push the token in, and it would hold it. And you could still pull it out. I did not have a, like on some things like that, you need to have a little hole on the backside. But if you use, I'm particularly good with X-Acto blades, so I would just poke it in just on the edge and then pop it out, because the token still kind of rose above the edge slightly. But the Quacks bits are phenomenal. They are, translucent, real. The actual art from Dennis Lohausen and I think he did those parts, and Schmidt-Spiele is really awesome. Oi. But, well, let's glue this. What the heck? Make sure I got everything the way I would prefer it. Now you can see they have gosh darn it, things are in the way and helping it not focus. Particularly this darn thing. I need to get that out of there. But they put this here on this edge so that you don't see, here, same here, you don't see those mold lines. And it's pretty great design. These guys have, every time I think, oh, they're starting to, somebody else is starting to beat them. No, they are still ahead. I actually kind of dropped out of 40K for a little while. Wow, this is bad, not focusing. I dropped out of 40K for a little while in the early 2010s. I still have too much stuff, but I also got frustrated with the changes, and I was particularly irritated with, I'm a big Sisters of Battle fan, and they would not make stuff, they would put out so you're not necessarily supposed to glue this, right? What happens is you run into, it might not go together. Anyway, so Sisters of Battle frustrated me because they would put out a Army codex for it, basically as the version was going to change, right? A new version was coming out, and you'd have basically an old codex. And I just got mad. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Now, I'm not even that crazy as Sisters. I just liked Sisters of Battle, and I would like to actually play them. And so they kind of got me back on when they started to actually make minis and stuff for it. So I don't remember when they did I bought the Exorcist and the Immolator, which are 2 vehicles that were a while ago. So I was still sort of paying attention, and it was an amazing product. And then they really got into gear like 3 or 4 years ago. And I mean, actually what really got me back initially was Warhammer Underworlds, because Warhammer Underworlds is 3 to 5 minis basically for each warband. And that's all you need. And I love that. I love that you have a small, this is 3 Stormcast Eternals here. They've changed them recently, so you know that's the other problem with Games Workshop, is that they will make changes and frustrate the heck out of people because you can't, either they stop supporting an army, which isn't that common, but it has happened recently. But anyway, and they also changed Warhammer Underworlds. There's a new edition out. They changed the way the system works. Each army before had its own deck of cards that you would need to have to even understand how they worked, right? Because it was they want to sell them, right? They want to sell them, and if you want to keep up on them, you need to buy everything. And I bought a lot, but I didn't buy everything. The new system, which just changed at, I think they told us about it at Spiel, and it was like a day later or 2 days later it was actually announced. I haven't bought anything yet. That the decks are common, so you get to choose a combat type combat type or strategy, and then you would use that deck. I don't know if there's any building of the deck beyond that. And they are going to be releasing multiple decks, and they're going to still introduce new war bands, but they'll also bring back some of them. So any of the war bands you have are pretty much, I think, playable. I'm pretty sure they are, because you're choosing how you want them to work. So I think if it works for you and you've got the minis, you can go with it. I have not got anything yet. I want to. I was kind of excited to hear about it because I felt the rulebook got massive. I really loved how simple it was initially. 20 some pages, but it was actually pretty easy. Played it a bunch of times up until Beastgrave. I don't think I never opened Beastgrave. Although I love the minis, and these I believe, which I painted just recently in Germany. These are from the Beastgrave set, and they're some of the best minis I think they've ever done. I had asked my friend Sebastian to try to get them because I couldn't find them reasonably priced. I'm like, I don't want to spend $80, $90 for these, which is because I was buying, like, there was another box that they put out that had these 4 minis in them, and 4 other, or whatever, however many others in the other warband. I'm just happy that they're not, I mean, to me, I love that they do stuff like this, and you can use these in standard Warhammer Fantasy, also known as Age of Sigmar. That you can get some really great minis, and what's really exciting is that they do the bases, like I was mentioning earlier. They do these detailed bases. Normally, the bases are this, they're flat. You add your own detail, which is great for creatives, But I love these bases. I think they're, as you can see, this is what I was talking about, where I don't put a lot of color in the base and then have it be on the mini itself, the character itself. So I like that. I did put a little bit of chain here, so I put a little metallic, and I dry brushed a little bit of color. Actually, I think I used Skeleton Horde. This one has a candelabra that is, I put a little color. There's white, like the tallow candles. But I love that. I love that they're kind of fun and deep at the same, sort of at the same time. So now I glued that on there. That's okay. The challenge is going to be this. I should be looking at his head because I often miss mold lines in the hair. Just a little bit. Now I could still do that after the fact. But yeah, I loved this side, and so then I got back into it a little bit with Sisters of Battle. I bought the army box that they put out, which was okay. A little expensive for what I got, but I was just happy that they were doing stuff. I got the codex. Of course, they've updated it was still sort of at the end of the run, but it wasn't that bad. And I hope they keep up with it. You know, I get it. It's a lot of work. And, you know, for a long time, it was like a new codex or so every month, at least. And it still may be, I don't know. That is why I wish that they would do their rules digitally somehow. I don't know what that answer is, because I know what the answer is in my head, but I know that that is not the answer in their head, which is low-cost subscription, that you will just constantly get the latest codexes. But, you know, they make a lot of money, and understandably so, from people buying the books. You want to have the book at your fingertips. And I foolishly bought the one set to have them. I think they did another box that I probably should have got. I definitely I want some of the minis, but I'm not that crazy. I don't want to paint full armies anymore. It's just not my interest. Wow, I am noticing all kinds of problems here. That is not gone. But yeah, so this is the edge of that shoulder pad, right? So they're doing their best to conceal it, but it's still not great. But you know, the way these are made is it's at least a 2-part mold that they inject the plastic into it. It's also one of the great things about these is that their plastic is pretty great. Their formula is solid. Well, let me just shave the thing in so I can do it the right. So what happens is if there's glue on these, it constricts. It becomes, the friction is designed. Well, let's just do it. Let me just push it and show you how it goes. And I can actually just glue the shoulder if it's a problem. But this is where I always have the problems. You just push the plastic into it, and look at that, right? Can't really see it. That mold line is concealed, even though I was just complaining about it. It's not bad. Now, it does look like here on the edge here, and that might be just because of my cleaning it. It's not great. But now that it's glued, I can use this Tamiya paint, Tamiya glue, whatever, and let it soak in. It's a capillary action. We'll get in there, and it's very thin, and it will glue together. Now, on this one, I'm going to try to glue underneath. We'll see how that goes, because I don't. You can actually. So they have a thing called people do called sprue glue, where you take this type of glue in particular. They use this very often, and you just put pieces of sprue into the bottle until it thickens up. And then it becomes a filler, liquid filler that you can use. And it's pretty darn good. I have done it. I did this not in that method, but many years ago. My trick was I would shave pieces of plastic, lay them into the area, and then put the glue on it, and then it filled it. It was the same kind of idea, but probably a lot more efficient to do it with the sprue glue. So right there's a gap. That's a little frustrating. Now this one here that I just glued probably won't matter because it's going to be underneath this. But once again, we have another mold line, and it will be right down the middle of this shoulder pad, which is frustrating, right? It is not, you can see already that it's not perfect. And that could be, looks like there's a key. So that might not be a problem. So there's a little tiny notch to help line up to this little tiny notch here, and then you have it correct. So I won't put glue into the post, but I will put glue on everything around it. So in the post hole here, right? This is where you run into troubles. Like I've had it where if you're not moving quick enough, it'll seize and you can't get it any further, and that's frustrating. But in this case, we're going to use, I'm doing this and I didn't actually finish cleaning that. Oh well. So I have pushed it together. It is not affected at all inside that hole. And actually look at that, that's pretty good. This is an instance where sprue glue might be, I mean, sprue glue is great, but it might be super helpful. So now I was saying that that wouldn't be visible. Hey, it's visible. We'll see how I can try to clean that up. But yeah, so you know, this definitely side cutters. So I was saying, much earlier, hey, greetings from Brazil. Are you guys going to do the advent calendar this year? That is the hope. Thanks so much for watching too, by the way. We will try, we will be doing it. We will, if the very first ones are just me and Nikki once again, which is what we did at the beginning, they will be. We're hoping that we have others involved. They were discussing it without us at one point in hopes to make it work out. We will see. Deborah is on a film, and she is not entirely on it all the time, but the issue, of course, is she has a child and husband and wants to see them. And so she was saying, I will try to make that work. Now, this was in October. I have not bothered her. I did write her the other day, because we are talking about trying to do a live stream. But people are sick and all kinds of stuff. It's just not great this year. More people getting sick for sure. Not the COVID, I guess, I hope. But I did not get it. Actually, I didn't hear of anybody getting sick at BDG Con this year. Scott was worried that he was getting sick. I felt great the whole time. I just was, you know, struggling with getting around, but I used my knee scooter, which if anybody in Germany saw me using that, it was fun. It was helpful for sure. We were talking about Nikki pushing me around in a wheelchair, and I'm like, this is just not gonna work. She's tiny, and it was just not great. And so I bought the knee scooter just before we went, was able to check it, because it's a mobility thing, and it was pretty great. Everybody, mostly for the most part, it worked out. Wow, that looks cool. He looks a lot better than he did a few minutes ago when I picked him up. So, you know, push fit works. I just feel it's good to have a little bit of the glue, and this looks pretty great. Like, I can't see the seam that well. I'm gonna let that dry. Plastic glue dries pretty quickly, but you want it to be pretty hard before you start to scrape it and stuff. There's definitely a gap there, you can see. And maybe scraping will do it, maybe a little bit of sprue glue. I don't have it, I can make some. Yeah, we will be doing the advent calendar. We actually have next year's advent calendar as well. I bought this year's, I mean, these are essentially, the one we're doing this year is 2 years old because it was done in Germany first 2 years ago, and then last year came out in English. And so I bought that knowing that we will do it this year. So we're gonna try, and I know Deborah's leaving for, not exactly the date, but she will be leaving for filming Daredevil again at the beginning of the year, I think, or near the beginning of the year. So we won't have that much access to her, I hope. I mean, she has fun coming over, and I hope that she will be able to film a few things for us. We are able to stretch her episodes out a little bit, you know, to save them. We have a few in the can right now. Hey, there's the guy working. Let's see if I can, I don't think I can glue these back on, which is not important. This can actually glue into the, wow, did it go in this base? No, it was this one here. It goes like this. So yeah, this one just snapped off because, probably because it's too, you know, it wasn't in there all the way. But I will glue it, and let's see if it'll work. It'd be nice if it just kind of sits in there correctly. But yeah, I hope we get to do, I mean, we will definitely be doing it. I hope we get to film with some folks soon here. Nikki's not been feeling great, so we haven't done anything. Boy, it's crazy that broke. So I've had that happen. I mean, it felt, I have a hard floor underneath my chair here, you know, basically one of the, it's not a, it's like one of those office mats, but it's not, it's a, some of the, what do you call it, laminate flooring, there we go. And, boy, it's not focusing. And laminate flooring is pretty cool, but it's hard. And I've had two minis snap when they fell. I had a Iron Man snap, one of the CMON ones, and those are the first wave, so I don't know if, meaning the first wave of the minis that they did, and they changed their plastic formulation on the next go. And I'm not sure if, there we go. I'm not really sure how much better it is. I have painted some. All of the, I think X-Men, I did the first 10 X-Men minis in the main box. And what I might do is I glue this on and then later on file it down a little bit. So it just uses a little post to hold it in place. The X-Men were the new plastic. I didn't notice anything at the time, and I knew that they had used new plastic. I just kind of forgot about it because, you know, when they do the Kickstarter and when they actually deliver, it's a good amount of time. Gosh darn it. But I also did the Spider-Man Spider-Geddon box. And I did notice that they were a little better. So plastic is better. Boy, these don't feel like they're perfectly straight. So it'll probably need to be, oh, there we go, I probably touched it. So this glue does not dry super fast. That's the other good thing about super glue is it will cure pretty quickly. I will leave that alone. Work on the other guy. This one belongs to this. He's got a shield. Let's go to the other guy. May not be getting that one apart. Boy, look at that. There's a big mold line on his thigh right there. That will probably, I mean, it really isn't that important, but it will probably drive me crazy if I look at it. I do like that this is that solid, you know, I mean, it is pretty great. Takes a little bit to get them apart, but you definitely don't want it to happen. So notice here, the head is a little post inside here. Not a lot of flexibility. That was one of the things that was pretty awesome about the old GW stuff is you could turn the head, you could easily change the heads. You can still do it, but it's more effort. I've only ever done it like a couple of times since GW changed the way they do their stuff. But yeah, you could do more poses and stuff, but it's complicated, and they still have some of that, as I say. In like these, you can put, I believe these were different heads. I cannot remember now. I actually have more of them, so I'm pretty sure. You know, it's just, the challenge is like I'm holding this together, and I think I was using plastic cement, so I'm like holding the hands and trying to keep them lined up and stuff like that. It's not simple. So I understand that's the kind of the new thing. They have the push fit, and they have a new thing which I haven't seen. I did get some boxes from them while we were in Spiel. That is, what you're doing is when, let me see if I have a sprue here, I can show you how it works. I do not. Oh wait, yes I do. You know, on these you just clip it So you go in and you clip it off of here, and the new ones, there's like a point where you push on it, and the mini just collapses off of the sprue. I have not fiddled with it yet. I am very eager to try it out. They told me about it last year, and they had run out of the samples that they were giving away of some minis. And I was like, oh, and I asked about it this year, and he said, yes, it's in the new set. So I have one set that I believe should have the push off the sprue things that they do, which is amazing. Oh, I'm touching that. He's gluing his, no, this is not that one. But yeah, they're trying to make it easy for you to get in and do this stuff, right? They don't prime them still, but they do the colors, right? So you can, I have the, I think did I open that one? I might have opened, I don't think I've opened anything because I actually should be opening them on a stream. I think I'm going to do a stream independent of a paint stream here soon where I'm just opening, because I have the Kill Team Hivestorm behind me that they sent, really was excited to check it out. I thought it was going to be like one of the little, like a little box thing where I had some stuff, some trains. And they do have a new set of that too, by the way. They have another starter box. I don't think this is just the next wave of stuff, which comes with some train and stuff like that. But they have, they have a new one with MDF terrain. It's pretty amazing, full color. But they also do, so as I was saying, they have, I think I have the Space Marine Adventure Tyrannid something. And it's, they have each one of them in a different color. Sort of like these do, right? You saw the tan. They do that for the, so that you could just push it together, no glue, and play. And you can identify your minis, right? Because they're a different color. Hey, cutie, what's going on? No, it's okay. Oh, he wants all of it? Hold on a second. Let me go to this. I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. We got cut back. Hey, from Mumbai, Lil Monster 90210. How you doing? They're on YouTube. Yeah, we got the we've got the arborists and they're doing some work. So Nikki was wondering if there was anything specific that I'm like, it's really more, she's like the one that's particular about what we have. I mean, we definitely need to trim trees. One of the trees has barely ever been trimmed, and the rest are have been 5 years, so too long. And well, not normally in Southern California, but we've had so much growth that it is a problem. Ooh, I was going to put that together without putting his head in there. So this one might have given you some head options, although I don't know. I mean, I feel like that is not something that they do with Warhammer Underworlds. It has been a little bit of time. Well, I assembled those Crimson Court ones. And I love those, man. They're really awesome. But, you know, mine look a lot like others because it is the same miniature. So I think basically that's where your paint job becomes the distinctive part about it. So he's looking to the side, I think. Yep. So you can see here, wow, this is crazy. So there's a point where this goes into here that keeps his head in the correct orientation that they have imposed in. So he's looking to the left there. Interesting. Well, I don't love to paint. I mean, it's good to paint them in assembly, you know, like you can do them on the sprue even. And it will be a little, so I will probably prime this black. Maybe not, maybe. I might even do these silver. I mean, I have everything I've done with the Retributor's armor, which I love that color. But, you know, I'm kind of burned on doing the same. That's why I haven't painted any of these for a little while, because I've done so many of them. Every kit comes with them, basically. Which is a little frustrating. You know, I mean, it's like the Space Marines. Ultramarines are super popular because they're the main ones. You know, they're... I don't know, it's been so long since I played an actual 40K game. I always felt that they were really strong. You know what I mean? Like, you choose them and you're likely to win. And that's fine. But, you know, if you want to play a more challenging army or whatever. But so this weekend I read an article on one website because they had a tournament. I can't remember what was going on exactly. I got emails about it, but they actually were talking about how so Eldar was my first army, and they're now called the Eldari, and they have ancient minis, Some are at least, you know, at about 20 years old. And you know, they're actually pretty great models, but come on. They release so many Space Marines, it's just ridiculous. And so they're finally putting out, they did the Striking Scorpions as a kill team, I think, recently, which you can use them in standard 40K. But they're fine, and I mean, I saw those like when they came out. I'm like, wow! And I don't even pay that much attention to all the releases because there's a lot. But yeah, it's frustrating because, again, there's the other one I was kind of a little frustrated with. Although, you know, it wasn't that far into the new designs, but it was just that the other, definitely Space Marines get the Space Marines, and whatever the first army is in that box will get the attention. And that, believe me, that's understandable. They're doing a new wave. You need to have as much you can for those to start off, and so there's a lot of minis that are often new stuff included in that first wave of things. But you want to get to some of the other stuff. Like, everybody wants to buy new things. Everybody wants to be involved in the new releases, and so part of that, I'm sure, is it just gets you to get into the new to get into the new army, right? So to have another army. And I have friends that do all of that, you know, have multiple armies. I just don't have the room, the patience, the money to do all of that. And but I am very excited that they have Eldari. I mean, there was some focus on the Dark Elder, which I thought, they're now called the Drukhari. I thought that those were completely dead, you know what I mean? There were, a lot of that stuff was only online for a while there, and I don't know that it's any better than that. Nikki was the Dark Eldar, and that was because everybody didn't want them in the. This is how long ago it was. It was 2000, I think. But we were playing, I think, the third edition, which came out in 1999, I think. But we weren't into it then. They had been into it prior to that, and they were all excited. And I was away for my grandfather's funeral, and came back, and they were all into this game. I'm like, what? And I thought, no, I can't do that. That's too expensive. And that was cheap back then, comparatively. But then I got hooked. I really was blown away by the sculpts on the minis. And I particularly thought the Eldar were interesting. But I like Space Marines too. They were really awesome. But we had plenty of Space Marines players. It's funny how everybody like chose their faction. There was somebody that was the I don't even know. I don't remember how much we played as a group. I played, but I don't know how much they played. Our friend Chris made a fold-up gaming table that I think we used twice. That was really cool. So do I should have some fine sandpaper here. I'm being silly. I don't know how much effort I need to do on this. I did not cut these. There is no doubt I didn't cut these. So I'm using like an old emery board that I thought would be smoother, but it's like, I think, I can't remember if that was Nikki's or my mom's or. See that cut there? I've had decent side cutters for a long time, so that's one reason why I don't think I did this. Because this would have been in the last 5 years or so that I would have maybe done these. I don't know that all of, well, I imagine a lot of the Warhammer Underworlds stuff was specifically made for it because they have these custom bases which are not common. I think the first one I got was Shadespire, and then Night Vault was the one that I think it was a 2019 release, and that's when they did the stuff for contrast paints. And that wasn't even, like I said, on these, they were sprayed this gray. These are actually green, and I sprayed them this gray, and it was this gray in can form, Gray Seer. I think that's still around. It's great, but then when I realized like a year later, the zenithal highlighting, I'm like, oh, that's what I want. Because I had done zenithal highlighting when I was painting minis to just get the shading figured out. And so I was listening to, I mean, maybe it was, gosh, who was it? It was a great way they were rationalizing, like how you should concern yourself about mold lines. It might have been Peachy yesterday. He was saying, if it's underneath, or if you can see it from above, then worry about it. If you can't see it from above, then it isn't that important. I mean, he said you can do what you want, but it's effort that doesn't necessarily need to be spent. Wow, so that was like chomped off there. I don't know what I'm doing here, focus wise. Too many things in the shot. This is really chonked up here, and I think that's the cutter. Let's use actually it seems smooth though, so I shouldn't worry about it. Sigmar says on the hammer there. I have like the first, or maybe I think that might have been the second wave of Age of Sigmar. I can't remember now. There was problems with, people had problems with the rules on the first batch, and they made changes. And again, lots of Stormcast Eternals, so it's actually pretty dry now. I'm still going to wait to try to smooth these mold lines. This is a much better, so I mean, you could cover this up with like runes or something that you want to paint on it. I'm not going to touch it. I want to. But you can see here, there's a good mold line right here on the side of his boot that I will not want. Goodness gracious, it can't have anything else for it to focus on. I mean, does it focus on the, oh, that will. Yeah, much faster when it does that. I cannot have anything in the shot. I'm noticing it more because I'm actually pulling stuff out of the shot way more often. So that seems kind of rough. We'll see. I'm going to do a little tiny bit. I'm promising myself not to do it, but I'm doing it. It's smoothing out. Now you don't want to go, now this is not detailed, right? So there is detail in here, but not right at this point. So you just want to smooth it out as best you can without making it too obvious. It's going to be a problem though, because that cut is right there. It's unfortunate that they put that connection point, but I mean, obviously it is, I'm sure that they engineer the crud out of this stuff nowadays, so I am blown away at how good the mold lines are. So there's clearly a reason for it having to be like this. Some of these things, I don't know, you kind of hope the paint sometimes will kind of seal some of it, but it generally doesn't, which is good. You don't want the paint to clog details. But that stuff you shouldn't worry about. It's underneath. And you can see it probably won't even be noticeable, right? I'm scraping this stuff off. It'll probably be pretty smooth when you see it. Now this has the whole weird chop off on the foot. There was like a large chunk of plastic that it connected to. And you know, it is injection molding, and I don't know a lot about all that stuff, but actually that was what the video I watched that Goobertown did. They were talking about different mini manufacturing types. They went to one place that does he went to one place that does 3D printing, CO cast, which is a new type of resin, sort of plastic injection, but it's more in common with metal casting, which but it's a new technology and a new machine. So look, it's like a big statue of a Sigmar thingy, which was pretty awesome to see the different techniques and how good they are actually nowadays. Missed this when I was trimming it. See, this is, you kind of have to go back and look at everything. I was trimming at it, but I didn't. I was worried about that edge, but there's definitely a mold line there. Phone is clicking here. I don't even know what's going on. Okay, I think I'm getting close to being done. So yeah, I might do something. Here's the problem. I won't be able to really see what this looks like until I can see there's some distortion from where, like, so that was what I was saying. I was thinking about buying some expensive sprue cutters, or what do they call them with Gundam? There's another, or Gunpla. There's another name for sprues. Anyway, they have these are the ones I'm using are side cutters, but what these other ones do is they have a flat edge that it goes up against. And it supposedly does a pretty amazing job of cutting it so that it doesn't leave any. Sorry, excuse me, had a soda. I need to order some sanding sticks. I do have, I think these are here. I don't see, oh no, they're there. These are bigger, but I have different grits, and maybe I can just run this over. It's a little coarser. Yeah, I've used this once. 600, 800, so they tell you what grit they are, which is awesome. 320, 240, 180, 100, 400, 600. I could not find these for the life of me, and Adam bought them for me. Now you got to be careful. That's why the little sanding sticks are great, because they're much smaller. That looks pretty good. Not great. It feels smooth, but couldn't tell you. So one of the things I'm seeing here that I'm having a problem with is that there's plastic kind of scrunched up in here. So I'm going to use the knife to pull it away from that seam, so hopefully it won't be too visible. See if this helps a little bit better. It might have been one I used the sanding. These are kind of sanding sticks too. I don't know if what they're really called, but the funny thing is I can always see these. I don't know that I ever get them fully smoothed out. Maybe this will help. Dogs are going crazy in the neighborhood. Feels good. Hard to tell though. Now these are very dusty. I'm going to definitely clean these off before I paint them. I really don't know these. I feel like I got these from somebody else. I don't recall the situation though. So this was another piece that was glued on. Interesting. It's not even glued on. So I can pop it off. Let's just do that too. Interesting. Yeah, I definitely didn't put this together. I don't remember this. This is awesome. I do think the half of the one on the Crimson Court was glued on as well. I should remember, I only did it 2 months ago. Not even that, really. So then this piece here, well, you can see this is, I definitely want to trim it. There's a huge chunk there that was cut. I definitely didn't do this. Let me see if I can, gosh. Wow, that's a big old chunk of plastic. So this might be a case where you pull it towards you carefully. I don't want to cut myself, which would be real fun on camera. Julia Child moment. Okay, that's better. Keep pulling out of the shot here. So I guess it was only, I mean, that's a huge connection point, so that was probably only there. It's just unfortunate because, right, this is what is poking up. Or is it? Yeah, it is. It's sort of kind of visible, but that should do it. Now, it can look a little damaged, right? This is fallen to the ground, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And it never has to be perfect, but something going on in that eye. Oh, I guess I'm just seeing reflection. Very cool. I like that, though. I mean, this is neat. It's weird that it doesn't glue a little better than that, though. Let me put some glue on it. Or, I mean, there's a push fit, right? But that's going to come out. Break those toothpicks. Okay, so I will put a bunch of glue on the portion here that lays flat up against the base. And then I'll probably glue the post from the inside, from the underside of it. So I'll hold that for a few moments. I really wished I could prime on stream for you the airbrush, but it's so messy and noisy. I don't really have a camera that I can get in there. Yeah, you can see here there's like a big, oops, can't see it. There's a big dent here, you know, I mean, it's meant to look damaged, so it's okay, although I feel like I sanded that but didn't take off that extra. And then I'll put a little glue on the inside here, just so that it doesn't come out. I don't know the story on this one. Again, I don't think I had anything to do with it. They could have been part of the base set of something, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. Again, I don't think I cut these. So here's an instance where I might want to do this separately. I mean, it's pretty tight in there, right? But it's not that bad. I have some that it's right across the chest. I'll think about it. I'll make sure that this is cleaned up enough. And I will airbrush it separately. It won't be a big challenge. And then this last one, I will let it dry much, much more before I trim it, because I'm sure I will disrupt it. But it took a lot longer to do that than I thought. And I've only got one of them done, but that looks pretty good. Again, it's, you know, it's a lot of potential annoyances. Now I'm gonna wait. It worked out on the other one, but I'll wait a little longer before I scrape this edge and make sure it's better. I feel like this one here is also a little too strong, right? It is just, It's weird that that is the point, but clearly that has to be it. I need to assemble some of the, I do have some of the, I think I have a box of it behind me, of the Kingdom Death Monster. The minis look pretty interesting to me. I'm not a huge, I don't know it. I haven't got into it yet. But I will check it out one of these days. I did not back it originally. I think that was, I think I saw a Ninjon video. He was talking about it, that they were, gosh, I feel like it was Ninjon that was doing the ranking. Did I say that? I hope I did. I might have said it was Miniac. He was saying that it's 15 years since the, I had heard nothing about it till it did the massive Kickstarter numbers, you know, at the time, like $3 million or something like that. And then a bunch more money on the second wave. Hey, Triple JJJ. How's it going in Australia? It is now getting warm there, right? So that's kind of cool. We are getting cold. Not cold for Southern California, but it's a little chilly. State of California. Anyway, let's see. I actually have access. That was the thing I thought, oh, I don't necessarily need to get on, but then I wouldn't be able to raid. But I would like to raid somebody if they're. It's one of the best things about Twitch. Let's see here. I am signed in, okay. Creator dashboard. I have no idea. I really don't know this stuff. Oh, there you go. Something happening on that end. Stream manager. There we go. Lately, I have not. I think we raided Bonds the other day, but I was frustrated. Like, I'm not seeing people that we follow. And that's fine. I don't mind doing some other stuff. But when I'm painting, I would love to go to Wapelius. I don't know if he's painting. He may not have any commissions. He may not have the time. I do believe he's a full-time painter, though. Anywho's. It's an afternoon, so it's hard. Maybe Amanda's on. She was on the stream earlier. I do want to see Amanda. I wish she had been able to go to Panda Amanda. Let's go. She's got a good amount of people. Oh, you know why? She is actually live, and you are seeing this if you're on the BGG front page. That's not it. Unless it's an ad. Oh, you know what? That's what I'm looking at the wrong thing. Let me look for Panda Angel. I would have rated the wrong person. I should know this. I type it in. But yeah, she should be on. Gosh darn it, I'm not. Oh, you know what? I think it caps that. What is going on? I am having the worst. Let me know what. Let's go to the BG front page. She's probably there. And I can find out exactly and we'll raid her. Hey, Jamie's thing is up. Boy, everything's really going slow here. I am Wi-Fi, which is not. We have fast Wi-Fi, but who knows? I'm going through another computer or looking at this stuff. Goodness gracious, nothing is working here. Anyway, well, maybe we just end the stream. Because I'm definitely not on the front page. I shouldn't be on the front page anymore, I don't think. Oh, Layers is on Kickstarter now. Layers is a neat game. I'm eager to check it out. Huh, I'm not seeing it. Maybe she doesn't stream yet? Oh well. I'm trying to scroll reasonably slow, but I don't see it. Well, let's just, nobody's streaming yet. Tuesday's Amanda Day. Maybe she's a little bit later. Everybody, I guess that's it. We won't be streaming on Thursday. That's Thanksgiving. We'll probably be back, hopefully Nikki and I, on Tuesday. Let me change these glasses. I can't see things. Hopefully Nikki will feel better. And I hope you all have a wonderful week and weekend. And if you celebrate Thanksgiving, hope you have a great Thanksgiving. We are looking forward to it. It's going to be some family time. I have not been with Nikki's parents for a little while. We didn't do anything for my birthday in November because we did it early, and we just had dinner with my mom. Anyway, you all take care. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for the chatting.